Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Birdsville. Good morning, Clear Lake. Good morning, Kent, Washington. And good morning to you. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Jace. Please welcome back to the show my sidekick sister from another mister, and I missed her so much, Kendall Mark.
Hello.
Welcome back, my love.
I heard I was replaced by a British otter.
Okay, now define what you mean by replaced.
Well, I don't know. All I heard was that you weren't here, so we had this otter.
First of all, his name's Oliver.
Oh, God, he has a name.
He has a name.
Okay.
And you weren't replaced, my love. He's an addition. He's an addition to the show.
But he just showed up when I was gone?
Yeah, and to be clear, you were replaced by Shane.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to be clear.
Okay, so I replaced, then I was unreplaced and replaced. And
Exactly.
Okay.
But truly, okay, thank you, Leo. Stay on this camera. Kendall.
Yes.
Nobody can replace you.
He really was pointing at me.
I am, and I'm going to give you, I said this yesterday, you missed it. We had a Monday mailbag, and I mentioned while you were gone, and you know we love these, I got an email on Friday from a woman named Lori up north, and she was not happy with me. She said that I pick on you way too much.
Oh.
One of those emails. And I said, well, Kendall and I are like older brother, younger sister, and we fight all the time.
Yes.
For your enjoyment. I said, I would never say anything that I knew was out of bounds. And I said, and Kendall picks on me.
I give it right back. I serve it out.
That's why people enjoy our chemistry. But she was not, she was like, and I said, no, and I replied back, which I don't often do. I don't engage hardly anymore. And I said, we're friends. I said, and she goes, not true, all in bold caps.
Really?
Yeah, I said, and then I stopped. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't, I'm not going to go into the back and forth. But I said, well, it is true. Anyway, did you have a good time? I want to hear, you were in Florida, right?
Yes, I was in Naples visiting a friend. My girlfriend Jenna, I love her, can work from anywhere, so she's snowbirds.
Oh, love the snowbirds. A lot of you watching are probably snowbirds.
I know, I'm like, you're 31, you're not allowed to be a snowbird yet. But she is, but I get to benefit from it, so it's totally fine.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it was really, really lovely. I got to see dolphins, get to go in the ocean.
Well, and I ask you this because I care, but also in connection, I brought up Lori up north for yelling at me because, as you noticed, I was very curious about your vacation.
You were.
You were horribly mistreated in our show meeting today.
It was very sad.
That every time Kendall tried telling us fun details about her vacation, I won't name the staff members, Leo, but somebody totally would start another conversation. Didn't they do that to you several times, Kendall?
Like talking over me.
Yeah.
And asking someone about something else.
That's right.
Am I that boring?
And again, I would rather walk on my lips than call anybody out on our staff.
Right.
But Director Leo did that a couple times.
Just a few.
Just a few times. I just want you to know, Kendall, we care, don't we, audience? We wanted to hear about your vacation.
Thank you.
All of us wanted. We care, and we're glad that you're back.
Thank you. Jordan was the star of the show.
Let's get started, everybody. Okay. It's time for the hot dish. Here we go. Roll it.
Lori's going to email you again.
Can you imagine Lori's email today? First, you mention me. Then you misquote me. Then you're mean to her again. You should be hobbled. First up, we may soon have a firm end date for the Wendy Williams show. This just changed. We got another update. Now this is right now alleged. This isn't confirmed, but listen to this. According to insider, staff of the show have been informed that Wendy's show will officially be canceled at the end of June. But everyone previously on Wendy's show has been rehired for the Sherry Shepherd show. The Sherry Show, which will debut in the fall. Basically in the same, hopefully the same time slots. I can't see why not. It's the same deal. All the time slots at Wendy's in right now. Now, this was reported on by one website, and then TMZ, who was very well sourced, picked it up 32 minutes ago.
That was I think the ticker of, oh.
Yeah, because they have great sources within the show. They always
really
have.
do. Yeah.
They've led the way on the story. And here's what makes this really interesting. Executive producer Jeff told me that Sherry is on Andy Cohen tonight.
Oh.
Now, full disclosure, what's interesting is we work for the same company that's involved. You know, most of Wendy's stations are Fox stations.
Right.
Our company, and I understand why, they don't like gossip to get ahead of official
information.
They like it to come, and I get that.
Yep.
I wonder how the network and the production company, now that it's out, the cat's out of the bag, what are you going to do? You can't put the toothpaste back in the bottle. You probably should prep Sherry for tonight, because Andy's going to ask her.
See how like the little red alarms are all going off. Meeting right now.
you know the headquarters right now. Woo, the mothership is having some meetings right now.
Alert.
Yeah, what are we going to do? Because Andy's going to ask. And what is Sherry going to say?
Right.
She's going to look silly if she goes, well, I don't know. You know.
Because he's going to keep poking the bear.
Yeah. I've said this every single time that we've done a Wendy story. I just hope she's okay.
Right.
I come at this not from a gossipy direction. It makes me sad.
Right.
Whatever the situation is that has prohibited her from being on her show, makes me sad. Yeah. Next on the dish, Brittany is ready to spill the tea. She's ready and is getting set to write a memoir. She's writing a book, Kendall. Insiders say the Brit has reached a deal worth $15 million to do a tell-all. Just so you know, this is one of the biggest book deals of all time. This is not just 2022, of all time, behind only the Obamas. Brittany has wanted to set the record straight since her sister wrote a book and made Brittany furious. Well, if the sister can benefit off her story, Brittany should be able to benefit off her own story.
Right. It just was such a bad, I don't even want to say look, because she did it. It was like she hadn't said anything for such a long time.
Yeah.
And then she writes a book.
You mean the sister?
The sister, Jamie Lynn. I just thought that was not cool. I'm happy Britt's going to put it in her own words or have a ghostwriter, most likely.
Yeah, I just don't like when, airing family laundry out in public.
When you're benefiting financially from it, from someone else's drama.
Yeah. It's not and especially if there's already turmoil, and if one of the family members like Brittany is dealing with some emotional issues, you're gonna write a book?
Right.
That's like kicking somebody when they're down.
Right.
It's just, yeah.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. Will we buy this book? I don't know. I'm kind of, you know me, I'm kind of sick of this whole story.
I'll go to the library. I'm not gonna buy it. I'll
Look
check it
at
out.
you going to the library. Do you have a library card?
Yes.
Oh.
Hennepin County. What's up?
Oh, what's up? I think I got one in like 97.
Don't tell Sid. She'll get really upset.
What? I just said I have a library card.
I thought you just said you haven't had one since.
No, I got one in 97 when I moved here.
And where did it go? Yeah.
Next up, you won't believe what happened to Molly Ringwald. A real life experience similar to what happened to her in the 80s classic 16 Candles. What do I mean? Well, first look at this.
Now, don't give me that pouty look of yours. You can eat your carrots when you get home.
That's it? You don't have anything else to say to me today?
What would you like me to say, Sam? Come on now, honey, you're gonna miss the bus.
Okay, that's Molly as a 16-year-old whose parents forgot her birthday in the movie. Well, Molly just revealed her mom forgot her birthday in real life. In a text exchange she shared on Instagram asking her mom if she had anything else to say to her. Her mom says she didn't realize it was the 18th and forgot to send her a present or a card. Molly responded, "Life imitates art." That's perfect.
And I love how she quotes herself.
Yeah. You can't get mad at that. You can't, that's hysterical. Especially if in one of your okay.
You can get mad at that.
Now, what is worse? Here's a life question. What's worse? Them forgetting your birthday altogether,
Right.
or in your situation, and poor Jordan will never live this down,
No.
thanks to our show. He remembers your birthday, but he spells your name as like Gretchen. I mean, he just,
Right.
you know,
Right.
what's worse?
I feel like mine, because it felt more like less of an admission that he just kind of forgot, and more of a like, oh, I didn't forget. You forgot.
Like a quick,
yeah, you
yeah.
forgot. There were no,
like stopping on the way to an
we
event.
had a really good vacation,
I know.
Jason.
Oh, I'm not, I know, and he doesn't watch anyway. But it's like stopping on the way to an event and you get gas station roses. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
Like the single rose. What? It's still a rose, but I'm saying it's just
not
like,
as sweet.
no, but it's like it's a last minute. It's still a gift, Jeff. I'm just saying. No, I'm not judging the gas station roses. I'm just saying I'm using it as an example of a last minute thing that you forgot.
Right. You go, oh, I'm going to the baby shower and I need to go to Target first because I haven't picked up a gift yet. That's never happened to me every single time I go to a baby shower, but it's the same thing.
And then what do? You get a gift bag. If a present's not wrapped, if it's in a gift bag,
With the paper and it looks so nice.
There's a fitty chance they got it on the way. Because you
Wrapped
can't
in the
wrap
trunk.
in your back seat, but you can sure print some tissue paper in the back of your car.
Sure can.
Look at this, girl. I got this weeks ago. We have so much more ahead. Grab some more Senka and meet me back here in just a few minutes. Back after this. Coming up next, the forecast is sunny and bright for media mogul Byron Allen. A look at his great profile on CBS Sunday Morning. Then, he's a comedian with a huge following online and a big deal with Netflix.
Is he a joke?
Is he a joke?
Russell Howard is joining us live ahead of his stop here in the Twin Cities.
I just wanted to
And just another Tuesday in Bachelor Nation.
I really felt like you were trying to fake cry to me. Like, it didn't feel genuine at all.
Producer Ted has his legendary recap. That and more when we come back. What are you laughing at over there?
Chucking that spoon.
I know, chucked it right underneath the desk.
It's funny.
Little behind the scenes secrets. I have a whole, underneath this desk, there are old interns. I have a wet bar under here.
Oliver is over there.
The otter's under here. So if I ever go like that, the otter's biting me. Welcome back. Tom Holland was on Seth Meyers last night and he shared, this is great, a funny story about Spider-Man that you don't know about. You don't. You may think you know everything about Spider-Man, but you don't. Here's our late night rewind.
Yeah. That's really great that you can both talk about the experience of playing Spider-Man, which is obviously unique to you guys, and also wearing the Spider-Man suit, because not a lot of people, do it at that level. It's just like the three of you and that guy in Times Square.
I'll give you a spoiler. Yeah.
You don't want to hug him.
I'll give you a spoiler, and I'm not going to tell you who, but one of us has a fake in their suit.
Really? Wow.
You can figure out that for yourselves.
Well. I mean, see, everybody
being
thinks you're such a nice guy, but you're all about ticket sales. Because now
all
everybody
about
here
them
is going
sound
back
bites.
out to try to find the fake.
I remember being on set being like, wow. Oh, hang on a minute. Nah, that's not real.
Right. At the rap party, you're like, where did go?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the Spider-Men has a fake rear in the spider suit. And it's obviously not youngin', it's not Holland, because he just said he looked. So who is it? Who do you think has no rear? Toby?
Tobey Maguire?
Maybe Toby. No, Andrew
Garfield.
Andrew
for
Garfield.
Sure. Yes.
Absolutely.
He's a dancer, though. Dancers have nice booties.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Well, the next time he's on, that'll be the first question.
Okay. Do you have a nice booty?
Before we begin, Mr. Garfield, could you please stand up? Ooh, by the way, listen to
Please
this.
stand up.
There's a little bit of breaking news. Aaron Rodgers just tweeted about Shailene Woodley.
Okay, that happened like 2 hours ago.
I'm sorry. I was doing my radio show, and you should have been doing your traffic duties. I don't look at Aaron Rodgers' Instagram.
It came up on my Twitter account because I tweet out crashes. Excuse me.
Should I read a little bit of this?
Yes, please do though, because it's good.
Shailene,
Yes.
thanks for letting me chase after you the first couple months after we met. And finally, letting me catch you. Wait, and finally letting me catch up to you and be a part of your life. Thank you for always having my back, for the incredible kindness you show me and everyone you meet, and for showing me what unconditional love looks like. I love you and I'm grateful for you.
You said that in really creepy Chianti
I did. I
voice.
kind of got into my Hannibal Lecter
Yeah,
voice.
Chianti was the next question.
I did get a little Hannibal Lecter with that.
You started with it too.
I did. Had the lamb stop screaming, Shelley? Next in the dish, broadcasting mogul, and that's truly what he is. Byron Allen was featured on CBS Sunday Morning. He's the new owner of the Weather Channel. Holy crap, he owns weather. And this is great. He's the first, this is fantastic. He's the first African American to own a 24-hour cable news channel, and talked about how he got started. Look at this.
I started crying because I felt like we, as African Americans, we have to own something. We don't own anything.
Which is why, in the early 90s, Allen and his mom joined forces to own their own entertainment show, Soup to Nuts. Even syndicated themselves. No more middlemen.
When I literally sat at my dining room table and I called all 1,300 television stations.
Every single one?
Every single one of them, probably 50 times each. And literally, after about 40 or 50,000 no's, I was able to squeeze out 150 yeses.
Yeah, soon his show was available in every single market in the country. Now he's worth billions and has his eyes set on becoming the first black owner of an NFL team. He's looking to buy the Denver Broncos. That's great. When I think of Byron, because I'm of a certain age, and Jeff knows what I'm going to say here, I think of him first as a guest on Johnny Carson. He was the youngest, I don't know if you guys know this, he was the youngest stand-up to appear on Carson and kill. He was supposed to be on one night, and then they bumped him, his big break, and they had to bump him for another guest. But then Johnny brought him back. So he was the first, he was the youngest stand-up comedian killed. Johnny did the legendary thumbs up to him. He may have even called him over. I don't remember that. Anyway, and he was a host on Real People. Real People. Remember that show, Jeff? Oh. Was that on NBC, Jeff? That was NBC, wasn't it? Yeah, because ABC had That's Incredible. And, and That's Incredible, it was, the concept was, it was like, oh, look, there's a lady with 8 legs. You know what I mean? And she can...
That is incredible.
And then the very 80s studio audience, they would show the woman with 8 legs, and then they'd cut to the audience and everyone would scream, "That's incredible!" And then it was just it was kind of like a Ripley's Believe It or Not mixed with these people, people that can do extraordinary things.
Huh. That's the other show.
That's incredible. Real People was just about, just real people. Extraordinary real people. Anyway. I love Byron Allen. His show ran on another station that I worked for, and I've seen him on a couple junkets, and he's a nice guy. He's a good guy.
I love his energy in that whole piece.
He
says that he's like, I wake up every morning like, let's go.
Yeah,
it's great.
He loves being in the control room for the Weather Channel. It's great. Next in the dish, Meghan McCain is no longer on The View, but she hasn't stopped giving her opinion about anything. In an op-ed on the Daily Mail, because she works for them now, she criticized the Sex and the City reboot, saying it's too woke and trying too hard to be politically correct. So you might have already heard that. I mean, I had some complaints about it as well. The cast of the show was on Andy Cohen's radio show and disagreed and say those who really know the show know that they're always pushing the boundaries. Listen.
But I think that people forget how incendiary the show was, and how not just only because of the sexual frankness and the conversations and the scenes of sex, but how revolutionary this was to show back in the day for women having a lot of sex with a lot of different partners who were, marriage was kind of, out there in the ether, but not necessarily something they were pursuing or even, had made up their minds about. And I think, I remember so well the initial, chatter about the show, the first at least couple seasons, saying these were not really women. Women don't really have sex like this. Women don't really talk like this. These are not women. These are gay men in drag.
She's right. I mean, there's a lot to. I promised myself, because I don't like the fact that the show was so overanalyzed. Remember, I said I think it's was. So I'm not going to overanalyze it. I will say Cynthia's absolutely right. We forget about the impact the original Sex and the City had. You didn't hear women sitting around at lunch discussing sex in such a frank manner on television.
Right. And not necessarily with their husband or and now it's partner. I just was whatever I want to do.
My thing with And Just Like That is I think they just try to do too much. They try to just let's just do
the first
like
3
pushing
episodes.
everything. Let's just and if they would have like maybe had 2 friends and then serviced those friends better, give them more time. But when you introduce 3 new people and you already have a cast of 3 originals, 6 people, 6 characters to service in 28 minutes a week. Give me 2 new friends. You know what I mean? Give me 2 new friends. And then Megan, I've been very fair to Megan. It just, the hypocriticalness of her criticism sometimes drives me nuts. She wasn't happy when Joy criticized her, but yet she criticizes The View still too. And I'm like, Megan, I don't know. I like a conservative voice on The View. I think there should be more than one for the love of Pete's Dragon. That was a horrible movie, by the way. But anyway. But yeah.
Is that the one with the kind of weird animation and that one scared me.
Yeah, it was like there was a animated dragon and a little. He wasn't a Dutch boy. That's paint. I think he was Irish. And he had a big dragon, and the dragon was I loved it when I was a kid.
I think
then they remade it. Yeah, then they remade it, and it was horrible. I digress. Next in the dish. Well, yesterday we talked about Love Is Blind, and oddly enough, the OG Love. The blind couple was on Sherry Shepherd yesterday. I'm tripping over that because I'm still not used to seeing Sherry Shepherd's name. Cameron and Lauren have been married for 3 years, and they're still going strong. Take that, Bachelor Nation. Look at this.
I watched it during quarantine, and it was one of those ones I was like, Love Is Blind. What is this? And I have to tell you, I was very critical and skeptical.
Understandable.
And I watched it, and I said, nobody's gonna fall in love. And I remember when you went, I love you, and I was like, okay, what is going on?
Listen, I was surprised too. Okay,
Wow.
I was shocked too. I mean, it's such a crazy whirlwind experience. Of course, going into it, we were open-minded and open, had our heart open, but. Never in a million years did I really think I was gonna find somebody and fall in love and get married.
Like, how did you feel when you saw Lauren?
I mean, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I'm not just saying that, it's really true. And I saw this silhouette through the little wall or the door, and I thought it was like a cardboard cutout or something, but that was actually her. And I was blown away.
Girl.
They are a really hot couple. I bet they have
a terrible time together.
I bet they play a lot of Monopoly together. Just say it.
Totally.
You know how you can look at some couples sometimes and you're like, just you see nature films. You're just like,
the fountains.
Yeah. The couple will celebrate 4 years in November. I feel like an old Southern woman.
Get the fan.
Get the fan. I used to have a big fan.
Oh, it's in the other room. It's by the weather desk.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Why is it in there?
I don't know. I was going to grab it.
I brought it in there when I anchored the news on Christmas.
Oh,
is
it's
my
still
big
there.
Disney fan?
Yeah, it's still there. It's by.
Eric, can you go get that for me, please? Please, yeah. Or Evan, Evan's just sitting there with a pina colada.
Oh, can I?
Where is it? Where's my big fan?
It's by my desk.
Okay.
By the traffic desk.
By the traffic desk. Thank you.
Sorry.
Seriously, he's just sitting there. He's not doing anything.
You can do it.
They have a new book, by the way, the couple does, and it's called Leap of Faith. All kidding aside, I enjoy them.
Yeah.
They're a great couple, and this season, still again, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. So good, people. Go watch it on Netflix. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Back in a moment, friends. Welcome back to the show. Our first guest is an internationally recognized comedian. It's recognized. Sounds like we're giving a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Comedian who will be coming to Minneapolis at the end of March. Russell Howard has a ginormous following online, including on YouTube, where he has more than 1 million subscribers. Here's a little bit.
Do you know about Elon Musk, the owner of Tesla?
Okay.
He's super rich and he's made an electric car.
Is he a jerk?
Is he a jerk?
Yeah. I mean, he did give his son's name, XA12.
Yeah. I mean, that's a jerk maneuver, isn't it?
Yeah. What kind of name is that?
Why can't you just call you kids something normal?
Like Derek or Bertie.
Exactly. Derek, Bertie is...
Joe Bob.
Or Joe Bob.
I did.
Please welcome to the show, Russell Howard. Hi, Russell.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. You know, W.C. Fields has that famous saying of never work with kids or animals. But going all the way back to Art Linkletter, if you get the right kids, they're a fountain of comedy. I mean, you can basically just sit back, right, Russell, and just let them say whatever they're going to say.
Yeah, well, it's a little part of my TV show called Playground Politics, and it's so much fun. My favorite bit, there was a young man who confused Boris Johnson with Dwayne Johnson. Because he was saying that Boris Johnson ate 10,000 calories a day and was really good in Jumanji. And there was this kind of beat where we were kind of sat there, and then we suddenly realized that he confused The Rock with Boris, and they are wildly different people.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think if The Rock ran Britain, we'd probably be doing better. But, you know, unfortunately, he's not. We've got a man who's part alpaca, part thesaurus instead.
Well, as folks here, our audience, if you don't know, Russell has a hugely successful show in the UK. And I'm wondering, you know, we have comedians come through here all the time, and I always love to ask about the audiences and how you recalibrate your demeanor and act depending on where you're performing. Putting you on the spot, what is the single biggest difference in your opinion comparing UK audiences and audiences here in the US? Is there a big difference?
The main thing is that you're full of joy. In a way that gigging in England is like performing in Mordor. You know, and you don't realize that until you travel. And then if you gig in Australia or Europe or America, you see how giddy and excited people are. Whereas we have this British thing where there's a deep desire for the evening to go badly. That's the best story. Do you know what I mean? You don't really want to have fun. If you see a famous comedian off the TV, you want to see him have a breakdown. That's far more enjoyable if you're British. You know what I mean? That's about it, really. It's kind of, I always love gigging in the States, and it's just nice to be able to travel and do stand-up without having to stay in a quarantine hotel.
Yeah.
I was in New Zealand January last year, and I had to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks before I was allowed out to perform. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was incredible. So, and what they did, classic New Zealand, they had like a trivia quiz that they put into every room to kind of lift our spirits. And the #1 prize, I'm not kidding you, the #1 prize, if you won that trivia quiz, was an extra night stay at the hotel. You've got to admire the artistry of whoever came up with that.
Wait a minute, wait. Russell, so wait a minute. So you're locked in this hotel room. We'll just call it a Red Roof Inn or something. You're locked in this Hyatt or Hilton, and they give you a trivia game to try to lift your spirits, and the first prize is another stay at that Hilton?
That is completely correct, yeah. Completely. And it's just one of those where whoever came up with that, I mean, that is a sensational joke. Because by the end of, like, honestly, day 14, I don't know if you've ever spent 14 days with yourself in a hotel room and you're not allowed to go out, but that is testing. The idea that you're going to want to spend more time with yourself, good God.
Oh, yeah. God, I love it.
Well, but I don't have to do that here, you know?
Yeah. So Russell's coming here, everybody. He's going to be at the Varsity Theater. Man, I am absolutely coming to your show. It's March. We'll give people information at the end. I want to know, though, you also have a Netflix special coming out. This is so great, my friend. And I always like to know these stories. How does this work, Russell? How do the Netflix guy, is there like a booker that comes up to you after a show and he's like, hey, I'm from Netflix. How do you get a Netflix special?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, really. They see you do stand-up, and then, yeah, they kind of ask you to do it, really. It's kind of, it's sort of as simple as that. If the show goes well, they kind of sort of suggest it. Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing. It's a bit like, particularly as a British comedian, the very idea of being on Netflix, or, you know, it's the old HBO special where you'd see, you know, George Carlin and Pryor and Rock and all these kind of greats. It's just such an honor to be on Netflix, you know, with so many great comics. And it just makes touring so much easier, because people arrive and they have like an idea of what you're about, you know. So I'm very fortunate enough. I do like arenas in the UK, and here I'm kind of like, you know, doing like lovely small gigs, but it feels like it's kind of growing again. So super exciting.
Well, talking about that, just in this, I've become a giant fan, my friend. I mean, and I'm sure I'm not alone, folks watching the show. I can't wait for you to come here, and thank you for taking time to talk to us today. I greatly appreciate it.
Pleasure. Nice to meet you, Jason. Have a great day, mate.
Nice to meet you. Russell, everybody. Yeah. Catch him March 29th, like I said, at the Varsity Theater. For tickets, go to Russell. Now, this is different. Remember, russell-howard.co, not com, .co.uk. We'll put this all on our YouTube channel. Follow him on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram. All you have to do is search for Russell Howard. My goodness, that was great. I love him. Oh, I love when that happens. I'm a huge fan now. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Oh, that was wonderful. Welcome back to the show. Kendall joins me again. How good was Russell?
He was so just naturally hilarious.
I know. I'm not kidding. I love when that happened. I told Ted and Jeff, great booking. I love when I discover like a guest that I love just on television.
Right.
And I love British humor. I love everything British.
So dry.
That's right. That's right. We have a British otter. You know, we have Oliver, who actually, Oliver, we got an email. He's here. He wanted to, hi, Oliver. Are you, because I know that he's from, you're from, don't touch me. He's from Britain and you're from Britain. Are you a fan of Russell? That's right. Okay. Thank you. We'll talk to you later, Oliver. All right. There's Oliver, our British otter. Are you ashamed to be a part of the show now, Kendall? You used to be very proud, didn't you? You used to think, you know, I'm in Market 14. I'm on a show that's shown, you know, stations across the country.
Seattle, do you want to take me?
Yeah. Seattle's regretting taking our show now. What the hell is that rodent doing? Welcome back. It's a decision that transformed late night TV. 29 years ago today, CBS bought a piece of New York City real estate that's still being used today. What is it? It's this.
And now, live on tape from the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York City, it's Stephen Colbert.
That's right. That is the opening of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. No, we're not showing you a clip of Colbert. There's a reason I'm showing you this. On this day in 1993, CBS announced that they bought the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York to use as David Letterman's studio for his upcoming Late Show. Before that, there were rumors Letterman would be moving his late night show to Los Angeles to compete with Jay Leno and The Tonight Show. So this is a little bit of a Jason Show history lesson because of the anniversary. So as history knows, you know, NBC got rid of Dave, or Dave got rid of NBC after they picked Leno over him for The Tonight Show, and CBS scooped him up. And part of the deal was, well, Letterman basically had control over everything. So Letterman's team was like, well, where are we going to do the show? Now, you think of Letterman and you think to yourself, you can't picture it any place but New York. But the truth of the matter is, there was consideration of doing the show in Los Angeles because you have more access to stars. That's why a lot of shows are just based there. But Hal Gurney, the legendary director, and Letterman referred to him, and again, my tip of the hat to Letterman, I have many of them, but when I refer to director Leo, Letterman, Hal, roll it. It's a homage. Leo doesn't know it, but Leo's an homage to Hal. Anyway, Hal was with Letterman and all the CBS executives, and they said, we're going to show you the Ed Sullivan Theater, which was a trash box at the time. It was used as a club. Oh, it was filled with rats. It was flooded. It was in complete disarray. It had been used for the Ed Sullivan Show in the 60s, and then nothing basically but a nightclub, like the 80s into the early 90s, 93. And they went to see it, and Letterman was like, no, this is disgusting. And it was Hal Gurney that went to the CBS people and said, wait a minute, I think we could fit the equipment here. We could fit a control room here. This could be used for a TV studio. And Hal went to Letterman, and Letterman was at that point leaning toward LA, and Hal said, people in LA are not funny. People in New York are funny. Simple line, but think about it.
Yeah.
Think about the material. I mean, people in LA, no offense, but you know what I mean. It's
leg transplants and
everyone has a tan. Everyone. Right. But New York, it's such a melting pot of personalities, and Dave proved that right off the bat with Rupert G. and the Hello Deli and the pizza place next door. And I mean, it's a fountain of comedy. And they spent, CBS agreed, spent millions of dollars. There was an office building that came with the property, perfect. And they redid it to this beautiful facility for television. And now think of it. Think of all the acts from Ed Sullivan now to Colbert that have been on that stage, from the Beatles to Aretha Franklin to the Bee Gees. You name a popular act of the last 50 years, and they've been on that stage.
That's amazing. I bet they got it for pretty cheap, too.
They did. CBS got quite the deal on that. That's right. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after these messages. Back in a moment. Thank you for being here, my friends. Just got an email telling me that rodents aren't otters, or otters aren't rodents, or not? They're, what is it, a mammal? Yeah. Are we questioning the mammalness now? Okay. I don't know. What is this, Wild Kingdom? With hometown dates just 1 week away, Clayton is getting serious about finding his mate. And last night on The Bachelor, he had enough of the games. Look at this.
Like, I've just wanted to, like, leave at one point because it's so heartbreaking.
I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, I really felt like you were trying to fake cry to me. Like, it didn't feel genuine at all.
I honestly have, like, no tears left because this has been a really, really tough week.
I felt like you were really trying to, like, force the tears out. And I'm having trouble, again, when it comes down to my journey. Like, I'm here trying to find my future wife here. And, like, what scares me is it sounds like you were trying to, like, manipulate these women into thinking that, like, there was more there, to the point where they felt that they should just give up. And everybody almost at one point walked out. And that's what's frustrating me is, like, I'm sorry, but I just don't believe you.
Oh. And with that, one of the front runners, Sarah, is gone. Will Clayton be able to trust again, or will the drama in the house prevent him from ever falling in love? I'll answer these questions in another segment of 32% of America Loves Ted. Joining us from Bachelor Nation headquarters and our control room, the one and only Ted Johnson. Ted, did you know that an otter is a mammal? It's not a rodent.
I was thinking marsupial.
No, they don't have a pouch.
Okay.
Anyway, so they go to Vienna.
Yep.
And the first date is Susie. I don't think you've ever talked about Susie in this segment before.
Well, remember last week the clock tower lady? You know, she slit a note under his table, under the door.
Yes.
Susie is clock tower lady. They made out on the clock tower. So anyways, he goes on a date with Susie, and he does the one thing. Here's the thing. If you are dating multiple women at a time, don't do this. He took her shopping for dresses, and he bought her all sorts of dresses, designer dresses. And then she brings them home, and all the women are just like, I want that dress.
They sound just like that, Ted?
Yes. So Susie got a rose because she looked gorgeous in these dresses.
Yeah, and let's be clear, he didn't buy her a dress.
Yeah, no.
The ABC television network bought her a dress.
Right, he's standing there like, oh, look what I got you.
Mickey Mouse bought that dress. Okay, so next was the group date. What do they do?
I can't.
What?
They did couples therapy.
Oh, God.
Remember last season we did group therapy?
Yeah.
That was borderline, yeah, okay. Now we're doing couples therapy. So they sit down with a psychoanalyst because Sigmund Freud is apparently from Vienna. So...
Wait a minute. Wait, Ted, say that again. What did you just say?
So Sigmund Freud is from Vienna.
Okay.
And so in honor of that, they sit down with a psychotherapist. And they're supposed to reveal their deepest, darkest secrets.
This is horrible, Ted.
And Genevieve, who has not gotten a one-on-one date with him at all, is like, you're telling me I have to reveal my deepest, darkest secrets, and then you're still going to kick me out? And so she was like, I'm just leaving.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but look, I'm not going to bust on therapy. You know, if we're ever in a position to date again, forget your 401k. I want to see a receipt for therapy.
Right.
You know? Anyway.
Yep.
But that's just me. Serene, now Serene had the last one-on-one. What did you think of her?
You know what? I like Serene. I think Serene has a really good shot. She's an elementary teacher from, I think, Oklahoma. They rode around horse and buggy or whatever you want to call that, carriage ride.
It's not a horse and buggy. Okay, go ahead.
She told him she loved him, so.
Oh.
She gets a home to him.
Do you like her, though?
I do like her. She seems real. She seems normal. So he will probably choose someone else.
Now, spoiler alert, who went home?
Teddy, the virgin. He sent her home. I think he was worried about stuff. And so he just said, you know what, it's not going to work. So he's got 4 women left, those 4. And he's going to go to their hometowns.
If we had more time, I'm not going to ask you to expand on stuff, Ted. We're going to leave it right there. We're a classy show.
Yes.
We're a classy show with a talking British otter. You see, Ted, can you hear me, Ted? It's just us. No one else is watching. Okay. Aren't you loving Kendall's reaction to the otter?
Oh, yeah.
She's a little threatened by the otter.
She's like, wait a second. Whoa. Wait a second.
I know. We got to go. Thanks, Ted. We'll be back right after this. Did an otter replace me? I love you. I do. You're my pretty... Can't even say it. Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the world's shortest segment. Today, the Olympic ratings are in. Ooh, no gold medal here. They aren't great. The 2022 Beijing Olympic Games were the smallest audience of all time for NBC for the Olympics, averaging just under 11.5 million viewers in prime time. Putting it in another way, that's down 42% compared to 2018. Keep in mind, the ratings decline is on par with the general downturn of network ratings over the past few years. The Games did have, though, one of the largest streaming audiences of all time. So good news, bad news. We'll be right back. Back in a moment with the surprise ending. I love you. I love you always and forever.
Am I getting fired?
No, you're not. Welcome back. It's time for the surprise goodbye. So this is the first time Kendall and I are seeing this story. Here we go. Today, revenge on a squirrel. What is this? Revenge on a squirrel trying to steal food from a bird feeder. Watch this. A homeowner in Florida filmed a furry rodent hanging upside down from a tree trunk trying to steal food, but a bird shows up, scaring the squirrel away. It happened several times before the squirrel finally took off. The homeowner says he's impressed with the squirrel's ability to eat upside down. Hey, when you're hungry, girl.
Squirrels can do the Olympics for food. It's amazing.
Oh, squirrels are, you think they're dumb, but they're not dumb.
They're as smart as an otter.
That's right. Wow. Well, somebody's bitter over the otter. You know it's a puppet, right?
That makes it worse.
Nobody can replace you.
It's a puppet otter.
Tomorrow on the show, Adam Pascal, an original in Broadway's Rent, will join us because he's in town for Pretty Woman. That's tomorrow. Go out there and be yourself. Nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong.